Welcome back to the Elle-Sera podcast, and today's guest is Emma Abbasi. She is the founder of DearBump, and I'm going to learn everything about DearBump today. Our voice notes on WhatsApp are something to be desired. I know that you're very nervous when it comes to podcasting. I don't want you to be. We're just going to chat, two friends over a brew, because I think everyone needs to know about DearBump, whether they are a woman that is experiencing pregnancy, a partner of that woman, or even businesses. So Emma, thank you for coming. Thank you for sharing the story of DearBump. Let's start at the beginning. What is DearBump?
So DearBump is a pregnancy app, and we are the first maternal health app that combines education with health tracking and real-time access to expert midwives.
Amazing. It didn't always start that way though, did it?
No.
So how did DearBump actually start?
So we actually started as a pregnancy subscription box. When I was pregnant, I felt really unprepared and there was a lot of information that I didn't know. So I decided to create basically boxes with products, information that's tailored towards each stage of pregnancy. So I did that for a couple of years. We did really well. Like during the pandemic, we supported over 10,000 women. And then I decided to add in more healthcare support. So I added in the digital midwife service on our website. We had a little like MVP chat on the website. And through that, we managed to have over 20,000 questions come through. And that basically gave us all a lot of information about what women were worried about, what their concerns are, what they're not getting from the current existing NHS service. And so I decided to just take all of that information and knowledge that we'd acquired and turn that into the DearBump app.
Wow. How does one even start an app? Like, we have this chat all the time. I hand it to you. Like, you are so talented when it comes to the whole tech aspect of things. I would not even know where to start. Where did you start?
So I originally studied chemistry, and I did do some computational chemistry within my degree, but it was only after I founded DearBump that I decided I need to learn how to code. I was having issues with my website, and I was paying developers like £100 to move a button across the screen like 2 centimeters, and I was just like, I need to learn how to code. So I actually went to North Coders in Manchester, which was a 12-week intense boot camp. So I drove to Manchester every day and back. I was actually pregnant as well. It was during my second trimester of my second child. So yeah, I did that intense boot camp, learned how to code, full stack JavaScript. I actually then started working as a developer. So I was working alongside running DearBump. So I gained about 6 years of tech experience. And then I just decided to challenge myself last year. I just needed a new challenge, something to focus on. And I just thought, I'll build an app. I've never built an app before. All of my tech experience has been more back-end development. So it was really like fresh start, brand new challenge, let's build an app. And it was actually a lot easier than I thought it would be.
Well, you say that, it baffles me. I can't even look at an Excel spreadsheet without losing my mind. So to the fact that you can like look at code and know exactly what you're doing with it, we're pretty much the same as what you said there. We need things to do from a website development perspective. I think sometimes it would be better if we could do it ourselves, because like you say, it's like, oh, can you do that? Yeah, that'll be like £400 please for my day rate. You're like, what?
Yeah.
You literally just removed a few things from the page. But coding just seems to be, but I suppose with you having like a chemistry background, quite a scientific background, you must find it interesting to be.
I find it enjoyable.
You do?
So obviously as a founder, you're doing like so many jobs. You're an accountant, you're HR, you're marketing, you're sales. But I actually enjoyed the tech. So for me, I'm having to do everything, but what I'm actually enjoying and getting energy from is building the app. And I was finding that if I was going weeks without coding or without working on the product and on the app, I was actually starting to feel like not great, if that makes sense. So I was actually doing it for fun. It sounds crazy, but it was actually like the most fun. The thing I looked forward to the most was like, I'm going to work on the app on Saturday.
I mean, yeah, I find it baffling, but I suppose if you're into that sort of stuff, then it's different. So take us back to the very beginning with DearBump. I've actually had an experience, not as a pregnant woman experiencing DearBump boxes, but I actually have gifted quite a few of my friends. Those initial boxes you now have as part of the app, which we'll talk about in a minute. But how does the DearBump experience start, or how did it start with the subscription boxes? Are they still a thing?
So we don't sell the subscription boxes as a subscription anymore, but we are now giving away a free box to anyone that subscribes to a premium annual subscription on the app.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you download the app, you subscribe to premium, and then we'll send out a free box.
Yeah, and these boxes are brilliant. They've literally got like everything that you need to start that kind of prenatal journey. What sort of things can you find in those boxes?
So it depends on what stage you're at, but it could be anything from like pregnancy teas, morning sickness remedies. We have like a little pregnancy journal, some birth affirmation cards, baby milestone cards, anything to promote positive well-being, skincare products, massage oils, things to help you with labor, like things to help bonding between mum and baby. Just depends on what stage you're at, but there's so many.
So they're tailored to whichever part of your pregnancy journey that you are. And I suppose you've worked with some incredible brands doing that then, because I remember opening a few of those boxes before I sent them out to people, and there was some really, really good stuff in there. Which has been your favourite brand to work with?
They're really nice. I really like Banks Leon Botanical.
Okay.
They're like a small business and the products are just beautiful. We've also worked with Mamma Mio, Mum and You, Water Wipes. I'm trying to think now.
There's been a fair few.
Oh yeah, there's like Metal and Maud. They do like morning sickness products, which are really good. And I actually used them when I was pregnant as well.
Yeah, your pregnancy journey pretty much spurred DearBump, didn't it?
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Two completely different experiences, but equally traumatic. So my first pregnancy, I was completely unprepared. I felt like I had no idea what I was doing. And I got to 36 weeks of pregnancy, and my midwife was kind of like, "Oh, I'll see you after you give birth now." And I was like, "I don't know how to give birth. You haven't told me." So I searched online. I found a one-to-one midwife, and they came to my house and they sat with me for like 4 hours and basically told me everything that I needed to know. And that made me feel so much better. But with my second, I actually had a one-to-one midwife throughout my entire pregnancy, and it made such a big difference. I actually felt prepared. I felt really empowered. I was actually excited to give birth. I was like, I want to give birth, because that's how my midwife made me feel, like really empowered. And that's what I wanted our users to feel, which is why we have the midwife chat on the app.
Yeah.
So we can provide that reassurance and empower women to be prepared for labour and birth.
So you've not officially kind of launched it, or you've not like marketed it out to people to let them know about it yet, but basically the DearBump app now has 24/7 access to a midwife.
Yes.
How on earth do you even facilitate that? Like what's the journey behind that?
So over the past 2 years, we've had the real midwives available 9 a.m. till 5 p.m. And we've basically built up that knowledge base of questions that people ask and answers that the midwives give. So we've built up this knowledge base, and now we can start to automate as well. So we don't have a real midwife available 24 hours a day, but we have a real midwife available between 9 to 5. Mm-hmm. And then outside of those hours, we have the automation, which is pulling on that information that we've basically stored. The midwives have created that content. So it is like talking to a midwife out of hours, but if they can't answer the question, then the midwives will respond and they'll intervene into the conversation.
And how many people are actively using your app right now?
We have about 2,000 users on the app, which is...
You've not been live for very long.
I know. So we launched in September on iOS, and then in October on Android. And we went live with 24/7 midwife last week. But yeah, we also have our corporate users as well. Yeah.
You're always a font for stats. Love your LinkedIn posts, because they're always like full of information that you go, oh my God, really? The percentages of women that feel kind of unsupported, throughout pregnancy and post-pregnancy as well. Where are they at these days? Because they've changed slightly since the last time I spoke to you.
Yeah, so there was the birth trauma inquiry last year, which found that 79% of women experience birth trauma. And the World Health Organization reported that 1 in 3 women are left with lasting health issues after birth. So that was one of the things that I experienced after my second child as well. So I had a condition called postpartum urinary retention, which basically meant that I had to go home with a catheter and I had to go back to the hospital every 2 weeks to basically get checked to see if I could get it removed. And I ended up having that in for 6 months. Wow. So the reason as well behind the app is we want to be able to grow our user base so that we can then start to collect the data that's missing and that's creating these gaps. And then we can start to work with researchers and healthcare providers to actually start to look for how can we prevent these issues from occurring, how can we predict that they're going to occur, and how can we look at treatments and prevention as well.
I think even if you've not had a traumatic experience, taking home a little person for the first time is a really daunting experience. We've just been talking before, a friend of mine has just said, my God, we're having a baby. We didn't even know. It's just happened. This is crazy. What do I even do? And I was like, funnily enough, there's an app for that. And it's lovely that there's a resource that's there and it's available. You had mentioned before, you've done a lot of work when it comes to businesses. There is a big movement right now when it comes to kind of supporting mums and supporting parents postpartum, because obviously parents now are entitled to both mother and father are both entitled to parental leave off. Where are you at with your work with businesses right now?
So we currently work with 15 businesses to provide DearBump as an employee benefit. So we provide the DearBump app to all of their employees who need the support throughout pregnancy, postpartum, and the return to work as well.
Okay. What's the dream there when it comes to the app? What's the end goal? What are we wanting from DearBump?
There's so much that we can do with the app. Like now we have the app. There's just so much. I have to really stay focused because there's just so much we can add to it. We currently have like pregnancy loss support, and that's something that none of the other apps provide. And we do get that feedback a lot that other apps don't support pregnancy loss. And so that's something that I made sure was in from day one. We want to add more tailored pregnancy loss support as well as postpartum support up to 2 years post-birth. So the midwives can provide that reassurance and advice up to 2 months, up to 2 years post-birth. But we want to add in more content around baby care. We want to add in more educational content around like kind of gamifying the experience. So it makes it more fun. Yeah. Like basic things like that we don't get taught, like how to change a nappy, how to feed a baby, how to burp a baby, just making it like really fun and gamified. And so we're giving people like badges when they complete modules and like return to work courses and just like hypnobirthing. There's so many things that I want to add to the app. But the big mission is we want to connect 1 million women with reassurance from a midwife.
So 1 million.
1 million.
That's the figure that we're going for, is the 1 million.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then next stop, the moon.
And then it'll be 10 million.
Yeah, I've never known anyone so driven. You literally like set targets left, right, and centre. It's so inspiring. You're an entrepreneur. You're a founder. Work-life balance must be really difficult for you. You also have the 2 children as well. How do you balance it all? How do you do it all?
I don't know.
It's an honest answer.
It is so hard because now that they're in school, you actually would think it would be easier when they're in school, but it's not, because you take them to school at 8:30 and then you have to pick them up at 3:00. So it's like half a day. So you basically stop work when they come home and then start again when they go to bed. It's just, and then I work all weekend. It's just, I don't really balance it all. I think that's a myth or a scam. Like women can have it all. That's just not true. Like something has to suffer, doesn't it?
Something does have to give. Yeah, No, you're right. I always ask.
Like, I don't go to the gym
on her podcast, so I like to ask people.
I forget to eat. I don't go to the gym. I forget to eat. I forget to drink. Like,
no, but you're looking great at the moment, and you were saying that that's because you're fasting. I'm always really interested to hear about different people and the way that they're kind of managing their lifestyles, whether it be from like a nutrition or a supplement perspective. But you would tell me about the fasting that you were just talking about then.
Yeah, so I discovered last year how to fast based on your menstrual cycle. So it's called Fast Like a Girl. So I have been doing that since January last year. So I basically follow that plan. Do you want me to like
go
in detail?
Go on.
So I can't say it exactly, but there's a book called Fast Like a Girl, and it basically tells you what to eat and how long to fast for based on where you're at in your menstrual cycle. So for example, when your period starts, you can fast the most for the longest period of time. So you could do 17 hours to 3 days from day one of your period. And you eat more keto-based foods. And then during ovulation, that changes. And then post-ovulation. And then again, during PMS, you don't fast at all. You can eat as much as you want. You can eat that's when you're supposed to nurture and nourish your body. So you can eat. No fasting during that time. But that has really helped me like balance my hormones. It's helped me with my immune system. So I hardly ever get sick. I don't think I've been sick. I've been sick once in the past year, and that was because I stopped fasting. but honestly, it's made me feel so much better. It's really good for your mental health, weight loss, if that's what you're looking for, and just balancing your hormones in general.
You're looking great.
Thank you.
Oh, seriously, when you walked through, I was just like, well, we saw each other last week, didn't we?
Yes.
Because you were up for an award for Northern Power. What was your category?
It was Disruptor for Good.
Disruptor for Good, of which you are.
I am a disruptor.
You are definitely a disruptor. Yep, absolutely. And for good and for bad, sometimes you are championing getting rid of the bad. I think the biggest mission that I'd seen you on last year was talking about investment in apps, in females as a whole. I'm not a female founder. I'm definitely happy to be a number two. I'm happy to support anybody that is a founder. But when it comes to funding for females, I mean, is it still as bad as it was? Is it getting better? Where are we at with it now?
So obviously I know more about like the innovation side of it with the whole Innovate UK Women in Innovation Grant Gate situation that was created.
Go into that. There'll be people that are thinking, what is that? But it's a very interesting topic, and it was one that you were right at the forefront of it last summer. It was last summer, wasn't it?
Yeah, so I think the applications opened in around June, and I applied for the Women in Innovation Grant. I think it was my third application, and I spent a long time on it. I felt like my application was really good. I knew that the odds of me getting a grant was very low because it's very competitive. They only give out 50 grants. They were £75,000 grants. And I wanted to win the grant to add in all of those features that I mentioned before. So gamifying the app, improving the support for women during pregnancy. So yeah, I spent a long time on it, as did 1,000 other women.
What is the process of that?
Yeah, it's really long. So you have to record a video. You've got to do a financial plan, a project plan, explain your innovation, the problem, the solution. You have to get a lot of data and kind of have some kind of MVP, have some traction, and then just explain what you're building on, basically. So over 1,000 women applied for this grant. Some women obviously spent a lot of money, a lot of time on this. And then when on results day, they sent an email out saying they'd only awarded 25 of the grants. But originally they were supposed to be 50. They didn't say it like, oh, we have decided. They just said it as if it was always supposed to be 25. So I was like, the way I am. I was diagnosed with autism as well in August. So I think I'm very much like a justice warrior. So, and also a data person. So facts. And I was like, they said 50, 25 is not 50. Simple as that. So I decided to post on LinkedIn. I WhatsApped every single female founder that I knew, every group I was in. And I said to repost my post, comment, share, post it, copy and paste it, whatever, just make some noise about this because we are going to get those grants back. And I was like, I'm not stopping until Innovate UK give out those grants. So it just went a bit crazy. Everybody was posting, commenting, sharing. So many people got involved, and it was kind of like my network were just waiting for something to campaign for. I think because I've been talking about gender equity for so long, my audience were kind of like prepped and primed and just ready to go. So it just went a bit viral, and we ended up in all of the press. It then went to Parliament within 4 days. So I think I posted on the Friday, and by Monday it was being spoken about in Parliament. Innovate UK then decided to award the other 25 grants as well. So they got 50 women instead of 25, which was the money that it was supposed to be in the first place. So everybody got the grant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So did you get anything from that?
I didn't get a grant, and I didn't get 25 new friends. And to be fair, like it was supposed to be, I think when they announced the 25 grants, it was very on the low down because you have to go through like due diligence and you kind of embargoed. Is that the word?
Yeah.
So people couldn't say whether they'd got it or not, and they were only announced a couple of weeks ago. So it was really good to see like the projects that got awarded and got funded.
But we just need to keep rooting for you to be one of those projects.
I am never applying for an Innovate UK grant again. I've applied for like 6 now, and I feel like it's just getting worse. My score's getting lower and lower. You address the feedback, but then you get a lower score. It's very inconsistent, and yeah, it's a lot of work.
Are there any other grants that you can apply for that you haven't yet?
I have applied for a few grants, but I'm not doing grants anymore. I've applied for an accelerator program. So I applied for the Morgan Stanley accelerator today. And I'm also applying for Preseed and Live Labs as well.
And how did those sorts of fundings work? Is that kind of like a buy-in to DearBump?
Yeah, it's more equity funding. So similar to Baltic Ventures, the program that I've just completed. I would love to do that again, but I don't think they'll let me. But
tell us about that.
Yeah, so last year I joined the Baltic Ventures Launchpad program, which is like a pre-accelerator. It's more early stage idea and how to build on your idea and how to make sure that your idea is evidence-based and that you're talking to customers and building something that people want, not just what you think the solution is. So I went through that process whilst I was building the app. So it really helped me to make sure that I was building something that the customers actually wanted and not just what I thought people wanted in a pregnancy app. And then at the end of the Launchpad program, I pitched. It was kind of like a pitch competition, and there were prizes, equity-free cash prizes. So I won the first prize, which was £25,000. And then I applied for the Baltic Ventures Accelerator program, which starts in September, and that's a 4-month program. You get £30,000 investment, and they support you with mentors, exited founders, a trip to Slush in Helsinki to meet investors. They took us to Sifted Summit in London. There was like investor dinners and coaching, and it was just amazing. And they also have a talent program, so they also help you hire people as well. So yeah, that's been really good. And I hired 2 people throughout that process as well.
So how many are you in a team now? Because you're a bit like us, you've been quite a close-knit team. Is that expanded since the last time we spoke? Or?
So we're now a team of 3, and then as well as the midwives. So we have 3 in the DearBump team, and then we have the team of midwives that are kind of separate to us as well. So
there's 2 very definitive avenues. There's DearBump, the app for the consumer, for the pregnant person, for their partner, for people who want to know about that journey. And then there's also the business side of things as well. How can employers support women throughout pregnancy and postpartum? What are they doing right and what are they doing wrong right now?
I think I was actually talking to EY about this yesterday. I think a lot of businesses focus on the return to work, and it's just too late to focus on that. It's too late in the process. You need to start supporting women from even before they announce that they're pregnant. Women need to feel comfortable and safe to announce that they're pregnant. The support needs to start in the culture, in as soon as you're pregnant, receiving an email to say congratulations, receiving a gift, like just to know that you're
An acknowledgement
and to know that it's a positive thing as well, not to respond in like oh, what are we going to do? Like when I told my manager I was pregnant, my development plan got put on hold. He kind of assumed that I wouldn't care as much about my career, that I'd more like that my priorities would change, that I'd want to focus more on being a mum and not on developing my career. So not making assumptions about people's like wants and their priorities, and just supporting people from the start of pregnancy, because as soon as you're on maternity leave and everything changes, your brain changes, you will think, do I actually want to go back to a workplace that didn't support me when I was pregnant? What's it going to be like when I go back? Are they going to support me? So making sure that you're supporting people from the start, not just when they're about to return to work, because they've already made the decision by then.
You're very good when it comes to the data and the analytics of asking people, and you do quite a lot of kind of like surveys and questionnaires and things like that. Have you ever done one when it comes to people returning back to work? What was the outcome of that?
We've done quite a lot. So 70 to 80% of women, when they're on maternity leave, they want to change jobs. And that's just because they didn't feel supported. And then I think it's 1 in 3 men have said that they would change jobs for better support.
Wow.
Yeah,
because that's the thing. We were having this conversation. We just had lovely Kaylee on from Mama Social, and we were saying that females are very... Actually, it's the only time really that I feel like the support is there and everything is targeted towards the woman is during pregnancy, but men sometimes do get overlooked as well. What's the user rate when it comes to DearBump or your services when it comes to men? Do you have a lot of men that use the service?
Yeah, so through our corporate program, more than 50% of our users are men. But when they sign up, they can provide the support for their partner as well, which is really nice, because the dads can ask questions, but also their partner gets access to the support. And then the dads feel like their workplace is supporting their partner, which is really nice, because sometimes the dads just kind of feel a bit like, what can I do? How can I help? And they could feel a bit helpless until the baby arrives, because there's nothing much they can do whilst their partner's pregnant. So a lot of the dads have said like they really like feel like they're doing something, that they're able to provide their partner with that support.
Yeah. Definitely important side of it as well. So we've got users, we've got businesses. You're currently working with 15 businesses at the moment. How is it if someone's listening to this and they think, God, that's a really great initiative, I would love to roll that out in kind of our staff program? How do they go about that? What's the starting point, and how quickly can it be done?
So to email, basically to reach out to me or Dawn at DearBump.com. And it's really simple. So we can onboard people really quickly. We provide unlimited support for employees. So it's just a set monthly fee based on the size of the company. And then all of the employees would get access to the support. They also get sent templates to announce. They get sent emails to say congratulations. We send out a welcome gift to all of or anyone who signs up for the support will get a DearBump box as well.
Oh, yeah. We've done next steps for where you want it to be, but obviously where you want it to be to get to that million, you do need more money. We're honest about it. You're doing this from the ground up on your own really successfully, but obviously there's room for improvement, and a lot of that comes from funding. We know how hard it is to get the funding. You literally are, every day I speak to you, you're applying for some form of grant, and you 9 times out of 10 do really well with it. Are you looking for anybody to kind of come on board as maybe a partner? Are you looking for anybody to come on board?
I would love a co-founder.
You'd love
honestly.
A co-founder?
Yeah, it's just so hard to find someone, isn't it? It's hard to
who's
find
as passionate
people
about
who
it
care about it as much as you do. And yeah, that would be the dream, if I could find someone who really cares about this as much as I do and would like to be a co-founder.
yeah, really difficult finding people that are shared passion. We get it quite a lot when it comes to Elle-Sera. Trying to find kind of like staff or whatever is really difficult because we give absolutely everything to the business, and I feel like the mentality is just not quite there right now, but hopefully there is someone out there as a co-founder. Where are you looking for that person?
I don't know. I do have a meeting with someone who I am hoping is a potential co-founder, but it's early days. We're also looking for investors as well. So obviously we've just finished the Baltic Ventures Accelerator. So we're looking for a lead investor and for our seed round this second quarter. Are we in Q2?
We will be by the time it goes out. You've got an amazing deck.
Yeah.
So they can gain access to that from you, so they can get all of your information. So for DearBump, it's literally dearbump.com. Is that right? Yeah. Dearbump.com for all of those informations. People can find you on LinkedIn. You're very, very reachable on LinkedIn. You're on it like so much more than I could ever be asked to be. I can't do LinkedIn. We have this conversation on WhatsApp all the time.
I go through phases. I am like, sometimes I post a lot and then I get really embarrassed and like cringe. Oh my gosh, did I really post that?
I feel like with LinkedIn, it's if you can't beat them, you join them. But then I join them and then I think, what a knobhead. I put stuff out there, I'm like, oh my God, that's so cringeworthy.
It is like, you feel very exposed. Mm-hmm. I don't think we are humans. We're supposed to be kind of like perceiving ourselves in such a way online, and everything's quite like personal brand. Like, this is my personal brand. And it is, I feel like it makes you quite vulnerable.
Yeah.
Because in the real world, you're like, is that me? Do I live up to what people expect when they meet me in real life? So it is difficult.
We laugh though, because you'll sit down there and you'll have a little flick through LinkedIn, and some of it is like, for want of a better phrase, it's a bit of a dick swinging contest, and it's like, look how great I'm doing. But the posts that I love the most are the ones that are the reality. It's that, I think the last thing that I posted was that I had driven to Wellesbourne, which was our fulfillment centre. And the reason that I had done that was I don't trust Royal Mail or Every or DPD or Hermes or any Yodel. I don't trust anybody with post anymore because it never gets there on time. If it does, like, it's an absolute miracle and I'm grateful, but the likelihood is it doesn't. So the only people that I entrust are myself and my partner to fill up his van and to drive it all the way to Wellesbourne. The bonnet broke. We had to put water in the car and then it wouldn't close again. So then Shit Bob sent somebody from Wellesbourne to pick me up, to take me back. The whole journey in itself was probably like 16 hours. And I thought, no, I am going to tell people this because I want people to realise how much we give a shit. Like, we wanted our stock to get there on time in order for it to get out for March, because we were gifting our sexy socks. Have you seen our sexy socks?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I actually haven't been on social media a lot, like last week.
We've got some gorgeous Elle-Sera socks that have been going out, and I was like, people want these, they're going to need them. So we did them. So yeah, I do use LinkedIn, and I think I do use it very authentically and show people, the bleak side of running a small business, which is that everything kind of gets left to you and you can't trust even the people that you are paying a lot of money to do the services, like the post services. But yeah, I've got a lot of work to do with LinkedIn. And you're very good with algorithms. I don't understand.
I don't post that kind of stuff. I kind of post more educational, fact-based data. Like, these are the facts. This is what we're doing.
A lot of which, when I read them, are absolutely mind-boggling. Like the stuff that you were sharing when it came to the lack of female funding available for female entrepreneurs. Those stats were absolutely astronomical. I was shocked when I read them. The same when it comes to the stats around pregnancy. You just don't realise how many people do feel unsupported.
Yeah.
And so when you do share stuff,
it resonates.
It does resonate. It does resonate with people, and they want to hear it, and they like to know that they're not alone in that. And I suppose that in itself that's where DearBump started, really, isn't it? It's just opening up those conversations. So you're on to great things with the DearBump app. We've got 24-hour midwives, which is going to be an amazing tool for a lot of people. I I'm excited just to see what games you come out with. What are we going to do? Like pin the diaper on the baby?
Maybe. Yeah. I know. I need some funding.
I know. You just get some fun code in there. So really exciting things to come for DearBump. I can't wait to see how it progresses. People can reach out to you if they are looking to either invest or to get on board with your services. Tell me again, dearbump.com.
Yes.
And who is it that they're reaching out to? There's you, and who are your team?
Dawn and Kat.
Dawn and Kat. Emma, thank you so much for coming
Thank you.
sharing your story. This will be going out around about Mother's Day. So big shout out to you. Happy Mother's Day, and happy Mother's Day to everyone that's listening.